Hello everyone, the famous Austin Galactic here, and today I'm going to be reading Chapter 8 for my book, Nebula and Quasar, The Search to Save the Sun. Now, since I read 7 chapters talking about the duo's mission in collecting magmanite for the 2 planets, known as the H.2 Octoplanet and then Planet Greenwood, this planet, known as Planet Sahara, is going to take place in a desert with pyramids, as well as a random encounter and a boss to begin with. So, with further ado, I'll begin the chapter. Almost to Planet Sahara, Nebula was taking a look at the ecosystem on another screen of the spaceship due to the features, along with the population and number of people that were also living there as a result. Based on the foundation of the IPF solar system, Quasar was also analyzing the magmanite drops collected from the rocks he mined with a pickaxe. Alright, it seems to me that we have collected as much as 5 drops worth of 25 billion years for burning. However, what we need to do is that we need to collect 5 more drops, which can generate as much as 50 billion years. Plus an addition of about 4 billion years with our sun's fuel, which could be potential with the right amount of nutrients that we need for all planets, including ours. Also, I have also been finding out that since there is 878.88 Novum Quadragantilian trees in Common City to begin with, some of which are somehow palm trees, it sums it up because since they don't need as much as sun as others do, its usual plants like flowers and many others, said Quasar, who was continuing to drive to Planet Sahara for the exploration of more magmanite drops at 3 drops in as soon rock as possible, on a place where pyramids will form completely. So Quasar, since we're going to Planet Sahara, what do you know about this place? Said Nebula, who was getting curious of the new destination that would soon be before the end of collecting magmanite on Port Gigalentica and being able to go back to Neotopia, which will be the place also for Escape Junction as it would end. Well, Nebula, since you asked that question, the answer is that it is a planet of hundreds of Nova Trigantillions and Nova Quadragantillions of sand grains altogether, with pyramids that were built by most ancient times before 3002, when people first lived there before they ceased to exist or had to move to other different planets as a result. According to geography, there is a rock that contains as much as 3 magmanite drops, which would be potential to get it. However, it has also been home for the radar that was installed based on its purposes, such as location, and more batteries that make it a max for 300 batteries that the replacement sun needs before it gets dimmer completely by the minute, as it will continue to keep going forward, said Quasar, who was providing even more explanations based on the complete geography and landscapes of the century, and the description of how Planet Sahara originated based on the foundation by its core, including the magmanite that kept the core at a stable level, similar to the ones in Neotopia, Planet Greenwood, and many others at 5 billion years. As they managed to head into the atmosphere of Planet Sahara, they saw pyramids and even sand as Quasar managed to begin the arrival and landing process. As they got out, they proceeded to get out. And they get out and saw Nova in retrospect to the fact that she also made it in her car. Hey Nova, what brings you to Planet Sahara to that complete extent? Said Quasar, who was surprised to see that Nova also arrived at Planet Sahara in her car, as a result in comparison to Nebula and Quasar's flying spaceship. It's about a thought if I could be able to help you on the journey and be able to show you the pathway so that way I can be able to go back to Neotopia, so that way we can be able to get to one of the pyramids and somehow avoid different kinds of bosses around the journey, said Nova, who was having some thinking about what to plan on for the complete mission as a complete result and based on what she thought would be the best for the duo, which was Nebula and Quasar. If that appears to be the case, since we all work for Officer Stone Cold, then yes, you're more than welcome to work with us since we're siblings and do whatever it takes to save the galaxy from a massive threat that we see as potential for our complete galaxy, known as the IPF solar system completely, as a result, based on the population of 359.88 dual centillion people, which applies to the galaxy in addition to Neotopia, said Quasar. Alright then, what are you waiting for? Let's begin the journey as soon as always, said Nova, who was willing to help them on the journey throughout the time. As they proceeded to run throughout the journey, they headed for a pathway that would be able to help them get to the pyramid just in time. Just then, as they were about to make a final move towards the pyramid, they heard lasers fire everywhere and even up above the ground as a complete round of fighting was happening. Realizing that it was a random encounter from Xeno's aliens, Quasar was the first to know that what was going on as a result of the aliens shooting down lasers. It's a random encounter with one of the aliens by Xeno. They must have figured out we're on, and then now we're going to find a way that can be capable enough for us to use counterattacks against them, said Quasar, who was now feeling alert about their presence and preparing their flying vehicles to counterattack them. There was only one way to counter. There's only one way to attack them back, and that is by looking at the weakest spots possible that could be potential since there is 25 aliens by Xeno against us, said Nova, who was explaining the best way for defending themselves from the aliens by Xeno. At the same time, the sun wasn't getting dimmer by the level. Even worse, the sun is appearing to get dark completely. So we need to collect more batteries. So what are you waiting for? We need to find them all, said Quasar, who was discovering something that the duo had never ever seen before as the dimmest level was getting higher by every hour. Agreeing to fight the aliens, Nova, Nebula, and Quasar proceeded to use a space race in order to counterattack them and be able to take them down completely as a result while avoiding every obstacles and taking down the enemy, firing thousands and even billions of rounds of shots. Nova, Nebula, and Quasar managed to take down one alien by Xeno as 24 was more to come. Suddenly, Nebula got a call from the hoverboard and proceeded to answer who it was. As she answered the call, Nebula then knew that the call was from Officer Stone Cold, who was proceeding to kill Nebula and Quasar about the dimmest level that was going higher at any hour based on what he saw from his computer. Nebula, Quasar, can you hear me? The replacement sun is getting dimmer, said Stone Cold, who was alerting Nebula and Quasar about the replacement sun having a high level of dimness to completely sum it up. Oh no, said Nebula, who was getting worrisome about the mission and the aliens in the complete random encounter as a complete result. Make sure you collect those batteries, said Stone Cold before the call completely ended for the duo in order for them to completely be active on the entire mission. That, as stated, based on what they needed to do. As they managed to continue fighting, they proceeded to whack down 5 aliens as a result, and then 10 aliens after 30 minutes. As they managed to continue, they noticed that as the dimness was nearly closer, they were almost closer to the place where the mission would be possible to begin, with the potential to keep going and take down the last of the 8 aliens by Xeno as a result. Proceeding to keep fighting, Nebula and Quasar were shooting lasers from the space race to outspawn them and breathing down while collecting one battery after each minute. If we didn't collect batteries, the replacement sun will go down, said Quasar, who is being on complete high alert of what was going to happen if the batteries were not collected effectively, and it would be lights out for everyone, said Nebula, who was getting even fun about what was going to happen if comets experienced not just an energy, but also a financial and economic crisis that would shock down multiple corporations and even banks to a complete extent. As they managed to take down 4 more aliens, it was now time to take down and outsmart the last final 4 aliens completely. Come on, there has to be some sort of way for us to smart them as always. I wonder how, said Quasar as he was looking at his spaceway. However, as he looked, he found a knob located on the top that just how powerful the laser could be based on the amount of energy generated by a single trigger on this of the spaceway. Aha! That's it! The energy adjuster. That is what I will need to outsmart the last of the 4 aliens as a result, said Quasar, who realized that the spaceway that he was equipped with had the energy adjuster in the form of a knob to introduce new levels of energies for lasers. Adjusting it completely to the max, he proceeded to use it against the 4 aliens completely with the potential to shoot one massive laser in a complete blast, which knocked out all of the aliens and even defeated them as Quasar managed to sabotage all of the 25 aliens. Looks like I have done it. I have knocked down the aliens for the aliens for 450 million years. It looks like they will not be alive even after the future comes, said Quasar, who was repowering his weapon after all of the minutes of the complete random encounter. Well done, Quasar. It seems to me you have outdone yourself and taken down all of the aliens completely, said Nova, who was congratulating him as a complete result on his goal to take down the aliens. Anyways, I will be at Escape Junction as always when I land into near Toby in my car. So go on to you two, said Nova, as she was about to leave for her car by engaging space mode and proceeding to hop on. As she left, Nebula and Quasar proceeded to continue on the journey to collect the final amount of batteries for Brian Sahara to begin with as time would pass by. So Quasar, if we manage to collect 136 batteries for both the H.2 Arctic and Planet Greenwood, how many batteries would we also need to collect for Brian Sahara based on that matter, and how many batteries did we collect during the random encounter? Said Nebula, who was having some questions about the batteries collected as a result of the encounter caused by the aliens when they were deployed by Xeno as a complete result. Well, Nebula, since we managed to stop the aliens from causing more and more trouble completely to the most of us, we have collected as much as 30 batteries when we had the random encounter with aliens that were brought to us by that Xeno. Since 300 minus 136 is 164, which is the amount of batteries we need to collect for both Planet Sahara and Planet Galactica, what we need to do is to start doing Planet Sahara first, and then move on to the Planet Galactica, which is part of the IPF solar system. So, what we need to do is that we need to get to one of the pyramids where the winner indicating another rocket hitting as much as 3 magmanite drops is in one of them. If we happen to find them, what we need to do is that we need to keep finding where it is. However, as we can manage to find one of them, we have to be careful since there are as much as 7 pyramids that make up a hexagon. The reason I would be saying this is because while these pyramids are the same, we need to worry about the potential of some pyramids that may not have it. So what are you waiting for? Come on. We've got as much as 3 drops, which is equivalent to 15 billion years, so that way we can move on to the Planet Galactica for the final 2 magmanite drops. Said Quasar, who was encouraging Nebula to start the mission as possible and with the complete potential to continue further for the Planet Galactica as many may know it. Beginning the mission, Nebula and Quasar managed to start the journey by following the path, while collecting 2 or 3 batteries as they continued throughout the way. Managing to run understandable, looking for some directions on where to go for the entire mission, both of them proceeded to go with the pathway at a point direction. Something tells me that since we are almost close to the 7 pyramids that have been built by their civilization for over 37.87 billion years, based on the history that we learned explained by our teachers, what else do you know about Planet Sahara? Said Nebula, who was determined to find out what Planet Sahara was known for based on the geographical landscapes, even what it was built to serve. Based on the historical events that have in history, Planet Hill was formed 45.6 billion years ago. Before Comet was formed 37.8 billion years later. It has also been known to serve an ancient civilization built by its supermassive population of an estimated 888 Northern quadrilateral people. To that extent, as many people managed to live there. It also became the reason that shaped our way of building modern skyscrapers by the shapes they use, in addition to U.S. and Japanese architecture for skyscrapers, along with ours also, said Quasar, who is providing some major intelligence on the planet based on the landscapes and the pyramids that were also formed due to the ancient civilizations of planet Sahara that also originated from generations of alien populations all the way to the next one. As they managed to head to the last trekking destination, they found themselves at the destination of over 7 pyramids completely, when to be estimated. There we are, the 7 pyramids that we have found upon since we began the mission, starting with the H.2 Arctic, said Quasar, who was finally proud to have found the location of the 7 pyramids at the final end of the pathway. So I think that what we need to do is that we need to search inside the 7 pyramids that may have the rock inside of them. Also, since we have collected 20 batteries, which makes it 50 batteries collected in total, the number of batteries left is 32 batteries, which will be collected at the end when we find the radar that links to the rock that we need to find and mine after the search. So the first task is to take a look in all of the pyramids before we are able to go to the final pyramid, which can be done by listening to the radar's command, which will tell us where to exactly go and where to start, said Quasar, who was providing an explanation on how to complete the entire place and be able to keep on going for the target, which will be described as a similar rock that required as a much more stronger pickaxe, with the potential to mine more of the 4 drops that would be found on planet Sahara. So, what are you waiting for? We have to begin this mission, Quasar. Let's know what we have got, said Nebula, who was beginning the mission with Quasar on a journey to interact with the 7 pyramids and what was the pathway to begin with. As they started the mission, the droid then proceeded to look into the first pyramid that was located in front of them completely. Alright, let's head into that pyramid, said Quasar. Heading there, they noticed a lot of steps that required the droid to climb them up with the strength that they needed to keep going in order for them to look for clues and even batteries to collect. Proceeding to climb up, Nebula and Quasar hopped and jumped onto each and one of the steps on the first pyramid. Alright, since we managed to climb up the steps as soon as possible, how many steps would each of the other pyramids have in addition to this one being 145 steps completely, said Nebula, who was getting a bit interested in the geography of planet Sahara and with the potential to be able to continue moving on towards the next pyramid as a complete result. Since that is the most common question that can be answered by many others on tours, it takes as much as 150 to 175 steps. However, it is only important to climb on one of these pyramids with caution, as this can be a treacherous journey to walk through Nebula. So let's be smart and precise while being able to go through the 7 pyramids, 4 batteries, and even more clues to begin with, since we need to save the sun from Xeno and his aliens under extreme form of ruin that could oppress the citizens of Comet City and many other cities to this day, said Quasar, who was explaining more about what they needed to do based on the pyramids and the radar that made up the planet Sahara, which is then taken in part also. Continuing up to the top of the first pyramid, Nebula and Quasar then proceeded to head up straight to the top, finding 5 batteries in the first pyramid. Okay, something tells me that we have found the first 5 batteries for this pyramid. The only thing we need to do is to head diagonally to the second pyramid, since there is a puzzle that exists in the 7 pyramids, starting with the first one to the 7th pyramid, said Quasar, who was finding discovery that about the 7 pyramids and the pathways that connected them all the way to the end. Okay, so what we need to do is that we need to follow where the puzzle is, because in addition to that Quasar, there were also keypads and codes that we need to solve throughout the pyramids, said Nebula, who is providing further information on the doors and the ways and how to bring them. in order to get to the next one. So I'll be pausing for a couple of minutes. So I need to continue on. Going to the next pyramid, Nebula and Quasar proceeded to move diagonally across from the first pyramid all the way to the second pyramid. As they got there, they proceeded to climb on top of the pyramid block by block, as there were 175 steps that needed to be walked on in order for them to cross. As they managed to cross to the top of the pyramid, they proceeded to look inside the pyramid and found 5 more batteries that needed to be collected completely, along with a door that was locked by a keypad that needed to be unlocked based on solving the code that was required to unlock. Okay, this is it. What we need to do is that we need to solve the keypad by looking for clues in the pyramid that were engraved or written down. Then, if we manage to do that, what we can do is look at a book based on how to solve certain kinds of puzzles based on what we need to find. If we find a book that shows the numbers straight in order, then that will certainly indicate that the book that has the numbers straight in order will be potential for us to completely understand and use the puzzle by any means to keep going further and further. So, you know what to exactly do, correct? Said Quasar. Yes, Quasar, I will try to do the same, and if we can get to the rest of the pyramids, we can get the Magmanite rock and get to the final pyramid in no time, said Nebula. Beginning the code cracking process, Nebula and Quasar looked around the area of the pyramid, finding numbers part of the shapes, which created more clues to find out. As they did, they even found a book that contained the code involving the shapes and even the numbers that were completely engraved onto one of them, which was proven to be found. Writing it on a random piece of paper to copy the code, the duo then proceeded to analyze the numbers that were written down completely as a result. Okay, so what we do understand is that since the code is 5, 43, 41, 18, the code has to be typed in using the shapes as an example, right on the keypad. This will apply to other pyramids as we will continue to solve this mission completely. And since we need as much as 78 batteries for Planet Sahara and 78 also for Planet Gigalantica, we just need to get to the 4 pyramids and then to the final pyramid, which is over 25 miles. And it can take something fast to get there as soon as possible. If we do that, we will be able to get to the Magmanite rock while collecting the final amount of batteries and even being able to take down a boss that we could perceive to be very powerful with the potential to cause more harm than good. So, ready for this? Said Quasar, who was ready to start the mission in a complete start as he was ready to continue on the next pyramid. One after the other, in the hopes of the reader indicating the exit along with the Magmanite that he would be able to have Nebula and Quasar himself killed once the batteries would be completely into the slots for more power generated before the 50 billion years worth and take Magmanite drops, plus an additional 4 billion years for the original fuel that was used for the sun. If this is possible, then yes, I will be ready for this. It's time for us to start doing it, said Nebula, who was determined, like Quasar, to head to any of the pyramids to find clues in order to retrieve the rock containing and continue to collect more batteries before any damage could be done. Beginning the journey, Nebula and Quasar managed to dash and run for the pyramids, one after the next. As they managed to continue, they found various clues that were hidden in one of the pyramids inside, based on many of the features, along with the potential to unlock codes and learn about the history of Planet Sahara, along with many in the IPF solar system. Meanwhile, Nova was on her own mission as a CCPD officer and Common Federal Republic government official dealing with one of the most evil bosses, known as Nasir. And one of the pyramids not close to 7 pyramids, Nova was dodging every single rock completely as a result based on what was happening, while using her space wings to keep on shooting. After 45 minutes of complete fighting, Nasir was completely defeated and with the pyramid collapsing. Nova managed to get out just in time to alert Stone Cold. Hey, Stone Cold, good news. I have successfully defeated Nasir. He won't do anything to keep causing trouble for Nebula and Quasar. said Nova, who was alone in Stone Cold completely. Thank you, Nova. In the meantime, please meet Joshua at Junkyard Junction. There was another boss you will need to defeat, said Stone Cold, who was explaining the entire mission to Nova. Roger the officer, I will head there as possible. Back to the pyramids. Nebula and Quasar were at the exit of the pyramid before anything could be done. Okay, now all we need to do is understand the clues, in addition to finding and collecting batteries, which is our main requirement, said Quasar, who was getting a bit of the hang based on the mission that he needed to do. And go against as he believed it would serve the common good completely. I could not agree. I could not agree more based on what you have described for the mission that we needed to do, said Nebula, who was beginning to like Quasar a little. Suddenly, as they were done with pyramids 4, 5, and 6, the radar, which was guiding the duo under certain commands and even the objectives on what to do for the mission, went completely haywire and nuts. The command system was nearly hacked by Zeno and his henchmen due to the intrusion that caused him to sabotage it. As a result, Quasar was then very alarmed due to the sudden outcome when he first had to listen to the commands that the radar had given, but instead heard different noises and sounds due to the issue that was going on. Radar's going off like crazy. It's time for us to head near the pyramid, but it looks like some sense is waiting for us there. Let's be careful, Nebula, said Quasar, who was warning Nebula about the potential dangers of the radar that would be soon potential to completely affect them as a result. Shivering for Quasar, we will be careful as always in order for us to get that magnetite, said Nebula. Proceeding to head for the final pyramid, Nebula and Quasar activated the hoverboards and proceeded to fly to the pyramid. As they did, they noticed many things that were not associated with the ancient civilization. It looks like that the more objects we find, the more likely that we are close to the pyramid. It's more of a probability chance that we need to conduct, said Nebula. Absolutely. It means that it also serves as a pathway for many who seem to not get to see one of them, said Quasar, in retrospect. As they managed to get to the top of the pyramid, they proceeded to climb up all of the 20 steps that led to the top of the pyramid completely. Alright, let's climb straight on top of those pyramids. If we can do that, we will be able to help with the radar and get the rock that may have the magnetite into it, said Quasar. I agree. Let's do it, said Nebula. As they climbed, they found many steps that would make it not only hard, but also a challenge that the duo have left to accept based on the goals. Climbing up, they proceeded to head to the top, which led to the final room, containing many clues along with the rock and all of the batteries. Okay, since the 4 battery is considered 5 or 4 battery, since it contained 5 or 4 batteries. Okay, so since 70 minus 53 is 25 batteries, I think that this appears to be all for this room since we found the magnetite along with the clues that we need for the final door, said Quasar. As they proceeded to achieve the magnetite rock on with finding a pickaxe and mining it, they proceeded to find as many clues as possible by analyzing the numbers engraved along with a book that also included shapes in which the numbers were placed in. As they did some analyzation towards the complete end, they were able to find the code that would break the final door open and be able to get out. Alright, here we go. The final code for breaking the keypad is 0312 3002, which dates back to the discovery of planets and Hill by a national tourist group to begin with. Also, with the code in place, we are able to solve it and get out in no time, said Quasar, who was proud to have found the code and understood what the mission was all about. Let's do it, Quasar. We've got it, said Nebula. Open up the door using the code given for one of the clues found in the room of the final pyramid. They proceeded to get out in no time and managed to climb down the pyramid for potential start going for Planet Gigalantica, which involved a long path that would be able to take them to the final destination as possible. As they managed to use the hoverboards on the second time, once the pyramids were locked, they managed to find the location of Wonderland. We just need to find the location, and then we'll be able to get out in no time, said Quasar. So I'll be pausing here for a couple minutes because I need to make sure I have my voice ready. So, yeah. As they managed to keep going, they looked everywhere to make sure that there wasn't anything suspicious. However, suddenly, a cactus-like gold alien was seen with a massive field, causing Nebula and Quasar to get completely alarmed by the sudden action of the alien with the beetle. Oh shoot! It's Pokey and her beetle, the big beetle. She must have used her big beetle to completely find where we are now. This is not good, said Quasar. Well, if it isn't Nebula and Quasar, the duo engaged to save our galaxy from Xeno, said Pokey. He mentioned and acted some sort of brat completely. How did you manage to find us when we were at a planet Sahara collecting all of the batteries here? Said Nebula, who was outraged along with Quasar based on what Duo had completely saw. I tell you what, I was hired by Xeno to go against you since he provided me the intelligence against you all. And with that, I will stop enough to defeat you and take back what he deserves, said Pokey, who was managing to make a lot of trouble not just for Nebula and Quasar, but for also the entire galaxy. No, you will not. We have been able to stop any bad criminal from causing most of the trouble around the galaxy and even many more. Since you found us, the only we can do is find ways to outsmart you. Since you work for Xeno, you have been nothing but corpulent, spoiled, and even mean to people that you certainly do not know. Well, that's not how I like for you, man. You are nothing but a spoiled brat, said Quasar, who was gaining complete defense against Pokey and Big Beetle. Well then, if that is the case for you, then it's time for me to start chasing you, said Pokey, as she was waiting to use her Big Beetle against Nebula and Quasar. Run! Shouted Quasar, as he knew what her intentions were. Proceeding to run at faster speeds, Nebula and Quasar ran to certain pathways while Pokey with a menacing cackle used her Big Beetle to chase them on where they were going. You can run, but you cannot hide, said Pokey as she was doing whatever it took to stop them. However, Quasar, who was being chased, had other plans to stop Pokey and her Big Beetle. Hey Nebula, I think I have an idea that we can do in order for us to stop her. You distract her, I will prepare a massive circuit of explosives that could potentially stop her at any cost. Can you do that? Said Quasar, who was devising the plan that needed to be done in order for Pokey and her Big Beetle to be completely overwhelmed and even defeated at the stake completely as possible. Based on the plans that you have completely explained, yes, I will do that. It's time for us to stop that Pokey and Big Beetle completely into bits as soon as possible. For Haikyuu, that is the time for us to keep going, said Nebula. Proceeding to enact the plan, Nebula distracted Pokey and her Big Beetle first, causing them to go on top of the hills that serve as the main boundaries of the planet. Quasar, after seeing it, proceeded to spread at a faster pace, causing him to go even faster as time would go by. Then, arriving at the location where it was a go time to create an explosion, he took many explosives found in places that were left to rust, one after the next. Then, with them placed in the circle, Quasar proceeded to turn on the knob and the mansion set at a high level of energy. Alright, Quasar, you can do this. We just need to stop that Pokey and Big Beetle, and then with that, we will be able to continue on with the mission as soon as possible completely, said Quasar to himself, as he was ready to be able to continue on the mission. Then, once he was prepared, Nebula managed to jump down, seeing the explosives. She proceeded to jump over them, causing Big Pokey and the Big Beetle to land onto the ground, while the explosives were placed in the middle. Now go shoot it! Now, Quasar! Now's the chance! Said Nebula as she managed to jump over the explosives at a very long distance. You got it! Said Quasar as he shot a laser from the space ray. Then, with it going as fast as more than 380.88 billion miles per hour, the laser proceeded to hit the explosives, causing them to explode at 487 decillion times the amount of energy that the laser had. As a result, Pokey and her big beetle would then sent flying all the way completely as a result into the air as a result of the energy from the laser fired. "Curse you, Nebula and Quasar!" screamed Pokey and her big beetle as they were completely flying all the way back to Neotopia, where they landed in a cell much more secure than any other. "Well done, Quasar. You finally managed to stop them once and for all. Now, let me mind the rock, since I have not had a chance to," said Nebula. "Sure thing. I'll lend you the vial and the pickaxe," said Quasar. As Nebula worked on mining the rock while holding the vial, Quasar inserted 78 batteries from planet Sahara into the slot, where it led to the replacement center for a low dimness, and even for Neotopia's population of 878.88 Joseon to completely thrive, with its ecosystem also and its form of magmanite, which was used to power its core, now for 555 trillion years. As he was done, Quasar then managed to take a look at Nebula mining the rock completely as a result. As it took 30 minutes, Nebula managed to find her luck completely as the rock they revealed 3 magmanite drops ready to be poured on into the vial that Quasar had did when he first did it for the 2 planets. Aha! That is all I need. 3 magmanite drops for this planet equivalent up to as much as 15 billion years. And, said Nebula as she was about to close the cap for the vial, suitable for planet Gigalantia, which is one of the most peaceful planets with only obstacles but no enemies for 10 billion years, and which we were added up to 50 billion years completely as a result, said Quasar, who was helping Nebula with the lid for closing the vial. After they were done, Quasar managed to call the flying spaceship, and with that, they proceeded to fly for planet Gigalantica, and this would be the final point to cross by before heading back to Neotopia. So that will be the end of chapter 8. So if you like this chapter, please hit the like button down below, and also please subscribe to the famous Austin Galactin. More videos will be coming soon as I continue to read. Anyways, have a good day. See you soon.